today's going to be the last day of mourning, and then it's just time to move on. It just, you have to move on. Some people won't move on. For some people, this is it. Luka was why they watched basketball. Luka is why they started to care about the Mavs. And now they feel so betrayed that they can't watch anymore. And to that, I say, fair. Completely and totally understandable. Completely and totally understandable. Yvonne with the 5. The Mavs need a tall, all-time passer that can shoot and has killer mentality. If only that kind of player. Yeah, those players don't come around very often. Cavish with the 5. How do I get over this? Feels like a breakup. My mom just tells me to grow the fuck up. I mean, yesterday I had this empty feeling. A feeling that it hadn't set in fully. I mean, I knew shit. Obviously, I knew how crazy it was, and I was very upset and saddened, but it hadn't fully set in what happened just yet. And yesterday it was just kind of this. I would see clips of Luka, the crazy shit Luka did, and I was like, damn, he's never going to play on the Mavs again. Like, he's never going to play on the Mavs again. Like, that's just such a sad realization, and I felt so empty inside, and I still do. I watched 5 minutes of the Mavs game yesterday and left. I didn't watch a single NBA game yesterday, probably for the first time in I don't know how long. I didn't want to. I had no desire. And you know what's even funny about that? This is how much of a sicko I am. I say that and I'm straight up lying. I had both the Celtics, Sixers, and Grizzlies Bucks game on. But anyways, it was just like this emptiness I felt. I wasn't excited to watch basketball. I wasn't excited to consume any basketball content. Like, I just felt so empty because it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, the Mavs tweeted this out. Today they tweeted out a video for him. Yesterday, their statement I thought was terrible. I thought everything about yesterday was terrible from the Mavs side of things. You get blown out by 50 points to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were without 7 of their top 8 rotation guys, to be completely and totally fair. But you get blown out by 40 points to the Cleveland Cavaliers. You give up 50 points in the first quarter, 92 points, I think, in the first half. The most points the Cavs have ever scored in a half. Just kind of hilarious. Just not even 24 hours after trading Luka Doncic for defensive reasons. After just an embarrassing press conference, an embarrassment of a press conference, they released a statement, or not even a statement. It was just like a tweet with Luka as all of his accomplishments. It says, "We're going to miss you, Luka," basically. Which I thought, man, that's it. Melverick with the 5, still waiting for news to break any minute that Nico's family was actually being held hostage. Today they released a video, and it's a good one. I mean, it is. Fuck, this shit sucks, man. This shit really sucks. I can't believe this is a real thing that happened. So anyways, I tweeted out, and this is true. If you'd have showed me this a week ago, like just showed me this tweet, it was an honor to watch the magician work with this, I would have thought Luka died. Like, seriously, that's what I would have told you. It's morbid. I would have said Luka died. I would have been like, oh my God, what the fuck happened? Like, what the hell happened? And then you would have said, oh, he got traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. And I said, oh, thank God. Like, that's how unthinkable trading Luka Doncic was. Even if it had come out like, hey, by the way, hearing some stuff, Luka's not going to sign that extension in the summer, and he's going to want to test free agency, and he's got some teams that he's interested in. Okay, that's a tough pill to swallow, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. You play out this season. You have a championship level roster. We'll play out the season, make some moves along the edges, and we'll cross this bridge in the summer. We'll deal with it then. Burt's Bees with a $4.99. Runaway by Kanye started playing on my way to work this morning. I started crying. No lie. I'm finally at the acceptance stage of grief. So, I mean, trading I'm trading Luka out of the blue without him demanding a trade just felt like a 0% possibility. Just felt like a 0% possibility. You would have called anyone crazy for suggesting that. Paul at the 5, if this wasn't such a bad situation, the president slightly biased, going back to talk to past slightly biased would be amusing. Oh, well, that could be saved for a later date. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into the optics side of things today because I've had my reactionary, emotional, in the moment takes. I want to go over some of the other stuff. So there was a tweet going around. You know, this happens all the time. And it doesn't happen in sports. It happens when major events happen as well. You know, tragedies strike. It's difficult for the human brain to process what happened. And it's difficult to accept realities that we don't want to be real. So when this trade happens, of course, naturally, everyone's like, what the fuck? This is such a bad, dumb trade that there has to be some evil behind it. There has to be some evil behind it, right? There's this, I still can't believe this happened. There's this conspiracy theory going around that's gained traction and people think that it's real. People are really subscribed to this, that there's the new owners have a heavy hand in this. Obviously, the Adelsons, the Dumonts, obviously very big in Vegas. It's not a secret why they wanted the Dallas Mavericks. They wanted to be people of power in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They're lobbying hard for gambling to become legalized in the state of Texas, with the idea being the moment it's legalized, we're going to open up a massive new arena for the Dallas Mavericks. That's also going to be a casino resort, and we're going to be the first people. We're going to be the first people to build a mega resort in downtown Dallas, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. It's going to make billions and billions and billions of dollars. That much is true. I don't know if that's been outright said, but that's 1,000% why they bought the team, right? And this has been expanded upon to now this trade has happened because of the owners and because there's a some nefarious reasoning behind it. This Facebook post has gained some traction. And this is how you know, right? This is how you know we've reached this can't be real. This can't be happening. The logical explanations for this make no sense to me. I refuse to believe it. And now I am going to accept conspiracy theory as reality. You see this all the time. And how do you know that that's happening? Once novella style Facebook post screenshots start circulating. That's when you've really crossed the threshold into full-fledged conspiracy mode. It's when you fully have crossed the threshold. As a 6-year-old boy, I watched this, the first ever. Okay, let's get to what Christopher's theory is here. Premise 1, the Mavs trading Luka at 25 years old, one of the top 3 players in the world, to the Lakers in return for a broken down 32-year-old Anthony Street Clothes Davis makes no sense. As a basketball move, virtually no one disputes this, so there must be a non-basketball explanation for what's going on here. I do agree. It's a terrible ass trade. Now, of course, one does have to point to the fact that Anthony Davis has played in more regular season games than Luka Doncic over the past 2 seasons. Now, that's not the end-all be-all. That's not the end-all be-all, but it is something that you have to consider. Premise 2, the Mavs' new Adelson Dumont ownership group has no real interest in basketball, and they have said as much. That much is obviously true. Grace with the 199, the Adelsons, some of the most evil people on earth. I agree with that as well. To the Adelsons, the Mavs are just a means to an end, which is opening up the largest untapped gambling market in the country. Texas, a destination resort casino, DFW, with the New Mavs arena in it is their frequently stated goal. Yes, that much is true as well. That much is absolutely true. The Adelson/Dumont push to change Texas law to allow their Mavs-centered destination casino resort is going badly in Austin. Again, despite hiring virtually every lobbyist in Austin, Texas, their company, Sands Casino, is not getting a bill through the Texas legislation this session. So another loss for gambling in Texas, and it will be 2 more years before the next legislative session. True. Fine. Premise 4, the Adelsons need more leverage to get gambling bill through Texas legislator, but they already donate more money to Texas politicians than literally anyone else, and they employ dozens of good lobbyists. So where the carrot has failed, they need a stick. The stick is that the threat to move the Mavs to Vegas unless they get what they want. This isn't happening. I'm just telling you. This is not happening. The NBA just simply wouldn't go for this. There's a multitude of different reasons why. The league is going to expand. Vegas is going to get a team. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Dallas is a top 4 market in the United States of America, growing quickly, and will soon be a top 3 market in the United States of America. The NBA is not getting rid of that market, especially a market that's active. And this market will remain active. Premise number 5, as of 24 hours ago, the threat to move to Mavs to Vegas was laughable. The Mavs just made a trip to the NBA Finals and were led by a 25-year-old generational superstar. They landed a major free agent, Klay Thompson, in the offseason. They were beloved in Dallas-Fort Worth, the 4th largest media market in the United States. Teams riding high don't move. Premise 6, if their goal is to open a destination resort, casino resort centered on a new arena, the Adelsons are better off with the Mavs being bad, unpopular, and unprofitable. This would make viable their threat to move to Vegas unless the Texas legislature legalizes their Venetian Dallas casino arena plan. Okay, so this part right here is where I push back. If this were true, you would have just traded Luka into another team for picks and interesting, young, growing player. That would have made them worse. That would have made them worse. Anthony Davis is a top 10 player in the league. This team's going to be solid. Premise number 7, the NBA would not allow a healthy franchise to abandon the 4th largest media market in the USA, but if local support for the Mavs has dried up, the aging American Airlines Center is full of empty seats, the political will to build a new arena has collapsed, and the promise of a golden new market in Vegas beckons. Ask fans of Seattle Supersonics if the NBA would block a move to Vegas. Look, if you guys don't think AD is a top 10 player, then he's right outside the top 10. Like, what is getting lost in all of this is Anthony Davis is being severely underrated. He is. Premise number 8, by giving away Luka in return for Anthony Davis, the Mavs went from being a top-tier NBA team for many years to come to who knows what now. The combination of AD, Klay, and Kai is the 2018 NBA All-Star team, but it's unfortunately 2025. The reality is the Mavs will be bad soon. They don't have draft capital to change their trajectory. I mean, that's true. 4 to 5 years from now, I don't know what the fuck this team looks like. They could be terrible. Premise 9, but even worse for the Mavs franchise is that day one fans like me feel betrayed and heartsick. I've never seen a fan base so angry. Who's going to buy season tickets now, watch games on TV, buy and wear merchandise? Mavs already down 700,000 followers on Instagram since they ran Luka out of town. This is true. There's going to be guys who do not, there's going to be fans who do not buy back in. That much is certain. That much is absolutely certain. Down 800,000 followers now. That instant number is false. Is it more? Is it less? I'm going to tell you guys right now how fandom works, though. inside the city. There's obviously going to be fans who never come back. That much is certain. You're going to get a major buyback in from fans the first time Anthony Davis has 25 points and 17 rebounds in 4 blocks and a win. This is just how fandom works. You're talking about one of the biggest markets there is, a city that loves sports. If you stay a fan, you're a cuck. No, you're not. No, you're not. Logan with the $2. There's so much more behind this than we know. F with the $2. Glad to see Luka's dad call out Nico the coward. There's nothing wrong with jumping ship. Like, seriously. Nothing at all. There's also nothing wrong with staying fans of the team. I mean, there's people who grew up watching this franchise through thick and thin, through horrible ownership in the 90s, the biggest laughingstock team throughout an entire decade. People stuck through that and were fans. There's people who just are fans. They grew up here. They've lived here their whole lives. They've rooted for this team their whole lives. Now, there's also people who have rooted for this team their whole lives, and this is a straw that broke the camel's back. Huge betrayal on an unprecedented level. Premise number 11. The Addisons didn't trade Luka to the Lakers for old Unibrow Davis. They traded Luka for a gun they can hold to the head of the Texas legislators. Authorize our Mavs Center Casino or off to Vegas, baby, and the NBA won't say no. I do think the NBA would have a big problem with that. So the Addisons will get their Mavs Center Casino one or another. Plan A is the new Venetian in Dallas, but if Texas legislator continues to say no, then Plan B is Vegas, and the Mavericks is the Vegas Mavericks, and the unhealthy nature of the post-Luka Mavs makes Plan B viable. And oh yeah, a nice side benefit of the gambling-driven plan is that the NBA's flagship franchise, the Lakers, is reinvigorated with one of the top 3 players on the planet, like Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, and Shaq. Before Luka, the Lakers magically have a new superstar. Premise number 14, that Nico admits that he talked only to the Lakers about trading Luka, reveals that this was not a basketball-driven transaction. Why not get 5 first-round picks for Luka? Because the Addisons need the Mavs to stink and be hopeless by the 2027 Texas legislature session. So I will push back here on what he's saying. If what he's thinking is they want the Mavericks to be terrible by 2027, trading Luka for 5 first-round picks and just some decent young players who have upside, that's how you accomplish that goal. That's how you accomplish that goal. You don't accomplish that goal by trading for Anthony Davis. Unless then you also turn around and trade Anthony Davis for pennies on the dollar and then trade Kyrie for pennies on the dollar. Yvonne, 11 months inside Delusional Club. Nico gets fired and hired by LA. Yeah, I mean, that would not fly, I don't think. So you genuinely think nothing else went on behind the scenes? No, I don't. I mean, there's stuff behind the scenes that we'll never know. There's stuff that happened between Luka and the organization and Luka that we will not know. I do not think there was more nefarious stuff behind the scenes. I don't. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. This happens all the time when there's big major world events that we just can't quite grasp. We have to immediately go to big time conspiracy theory. This is happening. There's actually an evil cabal that's pulling all of the strings, and this can't happen because then the reality is, man, a lot of the times this shit is just incompetency. And that's what I think happened. Full stop. This is a Nico Harrison power move. I said it all day yesterday. And Iztok said it again today. Iztok said he heard it from a source. close to the organization. I wonder if I heard it from the same source as him, because I had someone else that I texted everyone I knew, texted everyone I knew that had some type of inside with the Mavs organization. I did. Most of them didn't say anything of really any importance, but some of them said shit to me. This feels like a massive power move. LMAO and Nico power move. Trust me, bro. What do you think is more fucking likely to happen? Use your brain. What do you think is more likely to happen, huh? You have a GM who has a sole vision for the team. It's his vision for the team. Look at the pieces he's brought in. It's pieces that he has had connections with in the past. Kyrie Irving. He had a connection and a personal relationship with Kyrie Irving. He had a personal relationship with PJ Washington that dated back to PJ Washington being in high school. He wanted those guys. There's perhaps nobody in the league that he's closer with, by all reporting, than Anthony Davis. And it's not a secret. The Mavs have wanted Anthony Davis for a long time. I know that for an absolute fact. They have tried to get him for 2 years. Pretty much ever since Nico came on board, they have wanted Anthony Davis, and it's never been possible. And Nico Harrison, by all accounts, is a guy who's moved up the ranks and is very much his way or the highway. And for whatever godforsaken reason, now felt like the time for Nico Harrison to do the Anthony Davis move, even if it cost Luka Doncic. Nico literally said he plotted this with the Lakers on secret. I mean, he literally, you guys say literally, he literally didn't say that. So do you believe in Nico still in this team? No, I don't believe in Nico Harrison at all. How the fuck can you believe in Nico Harrison? He's an egomaniac. That's how I leave this, viewing him as. He's an egomaniac. It's his way or the highway. And that means trading a 25-year-old superstar. There's one thing that I think this does get right. The Allisons do not give a shit about what happens basketball-wise for the Mavericks. They have given the keys to Nico Harrison. Completely. They bought on, hey, we want to legalize gambling, and we want to build a casino resort. That's what we give a fuck about. You guys handle the basketball side of things. Nico Harrison, here is the car keys. And Nico Harrison said, I am the franchise now. It's me. They've given me the keys to the car. Not you, Luka Doncic. Not you, any other player on this roster. It's me. And what I say goes. I'm telling you guys. I mean, yes, it's my theory. It's my educated guess. But that is what happened. They wanted Anthony Davis badly. That's what happened. I know it sounds impossible to believe. Remember on the 499, this will never happen, but if Cuban rebought the Mavs and fired the entire front office, would Luka rejoin? So I don't want that to happen even. Like, I'm sorry. It would make everything 10 times worse if Nico got fired tomorrow. Because then it's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, you just let a guy trade away Luka Doncic and then fired him immediately? Like, what the fuck? I think it's possible there's pressure from ownership. I mean, so we're taking everything else Nico says at face value. Why don't we also take the fact that this was him? He said it a million times. This was my trade. I went to ownership. Ownership laughed at me at first, but then they got on board. Why do you keep saying they and not he? Well, I'm just saying they in general as the Mavs, because I do have a hard time believing Nico was just like a sole person on this and there weren't other people in the organization who felt similarly to what he ended up feeling about Luka. It's exactly what GMs say when they are covering their ownership decisions. All right, man. I don't think this is what happened. Like, I don't think this is what happened. I still can't get over this statement. A deal got whittled down, and I think Rob Pelinka was able to convince the Mavs that Luka is a lot of risk, his drinking, his weight problem. Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest fuck-up of it all. I mean, amidst a ton of fuck-ups. Draw with the 199, why keep it in the West, get back in the playoffs? This is the biggest fuck-up of them all. Trading him, obviously the biggest fuck-up. But the next biggest is not taking everything the Los Angeles Lakers had. If you're going to do this deal, and here's my theory, right? This is now my time for theorizing. This is just purely based off of what I think. They probably asked Luka, "Hey, over the next summer, can you take your conditioning a little bit more seriously? Can you take recovering from these lingering lower body injuries that you have more seriously, please? It's very important for us." They probably asked that. Luka comes into to preseason, strains his calf. All right, injuries happen all of the fucking time. All of the time. What's a bigger cause of Luka's reoccurring lower body injuries, in my opinion? The fact that he had such an unsustainable usage rate. And this is exactly why I would come on here and get shit on constantly by Mavs fans and Luka fans by saying he needs the ball in his hands less. He needs to do less. He has to do less. It's not sustainable for him. It's irresponsible. It's going to lead to problems. He's going to be hurt. He's going to be gassed all the time. And that's fucking what happened. He's a player that needs the ball, though. There's a difference between having the ball in your hand a lot and having the ball in your hand literally every second. Nico does suspicious lopsided trade, and Slide By says it's Nico's ego. What's your theory? Did you hear stuff about Nico before the trade? Look, there's rumblings that there was some frustration, but nothing that has been said, nothing that's been reported, nothing that even Mark Stein said in his piece last night felt out of the ordinary for a superstar. Like Luka has his own training staff. Okay, don't most superstars have their own fucking training staff? Like I don't get why that's a problem at all. This is what's annoying to me. This is what's annoying to me is stop all the bullshit. There's going to be hit pieces. There's going to be hit pieces by people who are fed information directly from the Dallas Mavericks, directly from Nico Harrison, or people who are paid by the Dallas Mavericks themselves, which I want to make something clear because I am not. That's not me. Okay. I think people assume that like Locked On Mavs, we get paid directly by the Dallas Mavericks. That is not what happens. But anyways, what was I even saying? Oh, the training staff stuff. Dude, there's going to be hit pieces. There's going to be, hey, Luka did X, Y, and Z. Luka did this. The teammates didn't like that Luka did this. That's going to happen. It's going to be nasty. And I wish they wouldn't fucking do it. And just call it what it is. Nico likes his guys. Anthony Davis is his guy. His number one guy. And he's wanted him forever. And there was frustration between Nico and Luka. And I know that. Well, everyone knows that now. It's not a secret anymore. Like, that's no longer a secret. The fact that, one, he got traded, but also the fact that Nico has talked about him, or really hasn't talked about him at all post this trade. I mean, he spent more time talking about Maxi Kleber in that dog shit, pathetic excuse of a press conference yesterday. there had been rumblings for a while, and I had heard it, and I had never said it because I'd heard it from people I didn't necessarily trust, that there was Nico and Luka, there was friction there, and that straight up Nico just didn't really like him. I heard that. I had someone DM me that 2 years ago. And I've actually changed my stance on the press conference, because I originally said they should not have done a press conference. They should not have done it. I actually respect the fact that they did it now, because if you're not going to go and face the reporters immediately, you know the players are going to get asked about it, the coaches are going to get asked about it. So as the executive decision maker, you owe it to all of them to go out and make it. That was a disgusting press conference. If you're going to do it, you need to be a little bit more fucking prepared for it. Somebody said it. I forgot who. Somebody said it. It was a great point. Nico got softball questions, and he still got them wrong. He still somehow gave the worst answer to the easiest questions imaginable. He was laughing. He was joking around. It's not like didn't read the room at all. And I think there's a disconnect between Nico Harrison and the fan and human side of basketball. How can you not assume that after this trade? How can you not assume that after this? I mean, obviously the fan base is going to erupt, man. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I'm sorry that they feel angry about it. Of course they're going to fucking feel angry about it, man. You just traded a homegrown megastar, a legit MVP candidate. You know how rare that is? You know how rare it is for a franchise to find one of those guys? It doesn't happen often. And you traded him out of nowhere, and he didn't ask for it. Dude, you have to stop being mad at me. Nico, it's not his fault. Luka was doing whatever he wanted. You think they weren't pissed? He played for Slovenia and taking care of himself. Look, I do think that there's some, it might come out, some of these hit pieces, you have to take with a fucking grain of salt, all of them. But there's going to be enough smoke that there's like, hey, there was some legit frustrations between Luka and the front office. And some of it's going to be nonsensical, like the training staff thing, where it's, hey, Luka brought in his own training staff. Okay. I mean, a lot of guys have their own training staff. Especially when you fired Casey Smith, who's one of the most well-respected trainers in the NBA. And by all accounts was Luka's like guy. You fired him. And one of the strangest moves at the time. Everyone was like, what the hell happened there? They tore down the Luka Memorial. Well, I mean, yeah, they were always going to take that down. No, man, no one. This warrants trading Luka Doncic. Sorry, the return is iffy, and also he made every right move before, so how the hell does his son become incompetent overnight? Just put 2 and 2 together, man. All of the guys he's went out and gotten. Kyrie Irving, Nico's guy. Had a relationship with him when he worked at Nike. PJ Washington, Nico's guy. Had a relationship with him when he worked at Nike. Anthony Davis, Nico's number one guy. This was something I heard from 2 people. And I don't even know, is this a secret? Were there reports about this? I feel like there were over time. Was that Nico fucking loves AD and has wanted him since he got here. Badly. Badly. Has wanted him. And of course, the Lakers aren't going to trade him. How can we support Anthony Davis going forward? He deserves to be loved and cherished. I'm sure he'll have monster playoff moments. I mean, if you're going to remain a fan of the team, you just cheer for him. I mean, that's it, really. Yes, Nico was in charge when Nike blew the Curry presentation. Infamously. That still doesn't justify this trade. There's no justifying the trade. There is no justifying it. You can't justify this trade. No other serious basketball person would have made a trade like this. I think you're dealing with somebody who has a large ego, somebody who's been given the keys to the car, somebody who wants to say, it's my way or the fucking highway here. I'm in charge. I want my guys. And you know what, Luka, I don't consider you one of my guys. And I consider AD one of my guys. That's what happened. That's not justifiable at all. But that's what happened. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm not trying to say, hey, guys, it kind of makes sense when you look at it this way. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's what happened. Nico is old school American basketball greater than everyone else. He saw two of the best young American players ever. Players beat Dallas easily, and it triggered his American players are better assumptions. I mean, he has tons of connections through AAU. Like, that's just the truth. Just incredible to say. This was just ego. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I don't buy into these outlandish conspiracy theories. I'm sorry I don't. I'm sorry that I don't do it. But I don't. Ace Talk posted a piece that said he heard it was an ego-driven move by Nico Harrison as well. And guess who Is Talk did a broadcast with yesterday? Luka's dad. The only conspiracy I buy into is the Adelsons wanting to get under the luxury tax. Yeah, I find that very fishy. I don't know what Is Talk's going to do yet. I can't imagine he stays covering the Mavs. Did you hear that there were supposed to be multiple first-round picks in Dalton Connect in the original deal? I saw someone say that in here. I haven't seen that on Twitter yet. This Is Talk also reported that Luka was going to buy a new home in Dallas. I believe 100% that Luka was going to wanted to stay here. I believe 100% that Luka wanted to stay here. It was on the Bill Simmons podcast. Oh, okay. Which is why I hate this bullshit of trying to do we were trying to get ahead of a sticky situation this summer. What was the sticky situation? Nico did not want to give Luka $350 million because he didn't believe in him. How do I know that? They just fucking traded him. That's not a secret. I mean, I'm not defending this move at all. I don't want you guys to come away with this as that. This is an indefensible move. A horrible, horrible basketball move. Is Anthony Davis great? He is fantastic. Yes, defensively, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, that's fucking nasty. Yes, having Anthony Davis as your closing five is gross. It is. It's not Luka Doncic. AD's top 10-ish player. Luka Doncic is a top 3 player. I need you guys, and I've talked about this all the time. You guys know I talk about this all the time. There is a gap between a top 3, top 4, top 5, leagues deep player in the league, and then like the 5 through 15. It's like those guys, you always have a chance no matter what. You get to the playoffs with one of those guys on your roster, no matter what happens, you're a contending team. It's why people think the Nuggets are still a contender. It's because they have Jokic. Their team around them is poo-poo out of a butt. But they have Nikola Jokic. Same thing why you will always respect the Bucks. Their team's old as fuck. They're old. They're slow. They're unathletic. It's not a real, legitimate, serious, contending team. But they have Giannis. It's why even during the 2023 season, the Mavs were terrible. It was a horrible-ass team. But there was the debate. Should they tank? Well, they need their pick, but you make it. If you make it, you have Luka Doncic and all of the stuff that he can do for you. You always have a chance. Nobody says that about Anthony Davis. God bless him. No one says that about him. No one's like, well, you got AD, you got a chance. It's an inexcusable trade. An inexcusable trade. Luka's dad also said there was fundamental differences in philosophies. It was about basketball style. Nico wanted his own vision for the team. That's what I'm saying. So me saying that is not me defending the trade. It's what I'm saying happened. What I think happened. I don't buy into the conspiracy theories. I don't. What do you think about throwing M into this trade? Markieff Morris? I guess it had to happen, huh? So why does he make all these trades to build around Luka and then trade him so fucking idiotic? I mean, he was building a team. Even if all of the problems with Luka are true, the fan base would still be willing to ride it out with Luka. Loyalty is a core value. Yeah, the Mavericks could have kept Luka for the remainder of his career. And it wouldn't have mattered to fans. Even if they started losing games. You hold Luka. Here's the thing. You keep Luka, you always have a chance. I need you guys to understand this. That Nico's love for AD runs so deep that I think in his mind, he might not think, I'm trying to get in the mind of Nico Harrison. He might not think that this is that big of a downgrade basketball-wise, and that they're, in fact, building a team more around their vision, their philosophies, and that, in turn, it'll lead to better results for them. The return makes more sense when you realize that this is what this for them. This isn't the Luka Doncic trade for the Dallas Mavericks. This is the Luka Doncic / Anthony Davis trade. That's how they view it. The return makes sense, or at least you could start your attempt of making sense out of this when you realize that that's how much they coveted Anthony Davis. And I'm saying it really might just be he. I'm coping right now. How am I coping? I think this is coping. Straight up. I think this is coping. I think this is coping. Personally, I think this is coping right here. An anonymous Mavs staff says Nico Harrison's wife was obsessed with Luka Doncic, even calling him Nico Doncic at times. Use your influence to get a blackout next home game. Brother, I don't have influence like that at all. John with the 10. If Nico wants to retire after 3 years, he probably thought he has no time to put up with his dislike for Luka. He just wants to get a chip and say, I told you so, and show on paper he was the best Mavs GM. You're the only one making sense. No, I'm not even fucking saying that. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying my hardest to relay what I have heard, which is that Nico loves Anthony Davis. I mean, loves him. Stein article. Is this, how new is it? I read one of his most recent ones, and honestly, I didn't think there was anything new in it. And I even paid $11 fucking to read it. Rimborn with the $4.99. Nico thinks two-way player greater than generational offense. Thinks the gap between the two is smaller than it is. I think that's what it is. Personally, I do. Like it's the only way to make sense out of it. When you realize that, yes, they think this is close. Obviously, we don't think it's close. In reality, it isn't close. I'm not saying this trade was good. This trade fucking sucks. Ass. Hunter with the 4 months on the site Illusion Club. Been watching AD and Christie tape. Western Conference semifinals bound. You know what's funny about all of this is I've mentioned this. Every Lakers person that I know, every friend that I have that's a Lakers fan or whatever the case may be, has who's messaged me or texted me or whatever, has said the same exact thing. All of them. Which is you guys are going to love Max Christie. Gerardo with the 199. Why keep him in the West? Get back to the playoffs. Grayson with the 199. Tim McMahon's already pumping out Luka hit pieces. That's not a surprise. That's the least surprising thing out of all of it. Tim McMahon would have been pumping those out if this trade didn't happen. So that's not surprising. Blake with the 499. We got a player in return, but how do we expect the team to move forward with the goal of winning a ship? Feel like the team soul has been taken. So the one thing that I will defend Nico about, the only thing, is when he said the long-term goals for the franchise, 3 to 4 years or 4 to 5 years, whatever he said, as long-term. I think in the NBA, that's a long time. That's a long time in the NBA. Think about where the Thunder were just 4 years ago, right? And think about where they are now. Like 4 years, a lot of shit happens in the NBA. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Utah Jazz were the 1 seed in the NBA 4 years ago. Like a lot happens in 4 years. And I think a lot of GMs would tell you that their long-term, when they think things long-term, that's about it. Paul with the $5. I mean, that does the Mavs like longer-term future, looking into the 2030s, looks incredibly bleak right now. Incredibly bleak. Paul with the $5. Sidebys doesn't get paid directly by the Mavs. There is an intermediary who hands him brown envelopes under the diner table. Yeah, that's what it is. I get some shady wire transfers. Brady with the $3. Check your DMs slight. All right, hold on. Tim with the $5. Zion more injured, more out of shape, less team success, less individual accomplishment. Pelicans holding strong with him. Even they are more loyal. Yeah, I mean, that's actually really fucking surprising. John with the 10. If Nico wants to retire for 3 years, he probably thought he has. All right, I read this one. But thank you, Jonald. Rimbraun with the $4.99. Nico, thanks too. I already read that, but thank you. Jake with the $9.99. Thank you for the real therapy the past 36 hours. Slightly stay cool, my dude. Thank you, Jake. I'm really not trying to poo-poo anyone's thoughts on this. I don't agree with the conspiracy thoughts. I don't. I think you don't need it to make sense out of it. No part about this makes sense, but I think the most logical explanation is this was an ego-driven move by Nico Harrison. He thought, I can win with my guys. My guy's Anthony Davis. I'm going to prove to you guys that I can win with this shit. I'm in charge here. Remember that. Partho at the 1999. Done with the Vegas conspiracies. This is how I understand the trade. AD is Nico's best friend forever. Luka has no real relationship with him. Nico went to the front office, got laughed at, went to the owners, said no Luka means no luxury tax. Boom. Yeah, I mean, he probably went to the owners and said, I don't feel comfortable paying him $350 million. I don't want to do it. And the owners were like, well, fuck, if you don't feel comfortable, that's my money. I don't want to pay him. Like, that's probably how it went down. I mean, not wanting to pay Luka $350 million. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? I mean, what? I would love to know, like, what possibly got you to that conclusion? I would just love to hear Nico's real honest assessment of this. Not the media, not the I'm trying to save my ass a little bit. I would love to know the real reasons behind it. Just tell us it. You think Luka sucks on defense? You think he's fat? You think he doesn't try hard at practice and that really pisses you off? Like, what is it specifically? Sven with the $5.99, planning a trip with my son from Germany to see my guy Luka with the Mavs. Canceled it right away. Need to heal first. Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry about that. Logan with the $2, 100% certain Kyrie acts out next year. I'm not 100% certain about that. Beat out the 199. Saddest part is Luka won't get his number retired here. I think he will. They'll retire it. It'll be a whole fucking thing. Like, he's for sure getting his jersey retired. Yes, he will. Dude, Vince Carter just got his jersey retired by the Toronto Raptors. Like, Luka's getting his jersey retired. Would you consider getting Gabe Vincent and Vanderbilt for Derek Lively? So I want to laugh at any Lakers fans who have made their way here and are going to give me dog shit trade offers like this, but I can't laugh at them. I can no longer laugh at them. I can't make fun of them. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't fucking know. Maybe you guys could. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. It's possible, I guess. Chuckles with the $1.99. Cancel my season tickets today. More power to you, brother. More power to you. All right, let me check this DM. This is from Brady. Lord Slightly, here's my attempt at rationalizing trading away a 25-year-old global superstar at the peak of his powers. Here's my final synopsis of the trade. Red flags for Luka. This is from somebody who DM'd me. Brady in the chat. Red flags for Luka. Number one, Luka did not give any confidence that when he returned to play, that they were going to win immediately, make a deep run. Number two, Luka is a defensive liability. I'm not saying this. Number three, Luka is too young to be so fragile and out of shape. Number four, Luka plays his brand of basketball, doesn't change from his game, slows the pace. I'm not saying this. Supermax extension. Writing on the wall indicates he's requesting the extension this summer. 2, significantly capping the ceiling of this organization. 3, strapping us to Luka for 5+ years. Nico. 1, Nico has spent a shit ton of time orchestrating good trades, free agent signings, hit on Kyrie, Gafford, PJ Clay. Has built a team on hard defense and big men. Conclusion. Nico did not want to strap himself to a single player, not including the red flags above. Single-threaded style of play. Did not want to risk another Brunson situation where he leaves us for another team for nothing. Luka goes against the style and philosophy of kids' games. Defense, high pace. Trading Luka for more picks does not secure win now. 5 red flags. I don't think Brady's saying this is what he thinks happened. Like, this is Brady's opinion. I think he's saying, like, he's trying to put himself in the brain of Nico Harrison. Like, I think that's what Brady's saying. Lakers fans are worried that he is a 25-year-old with a 35-year-old body. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't feel bad saying it now because I was saying while I was here. His injuries are concerning. Luka's injuries are concerning. I don't give a fuck, though. I'd roll that dice 10 times out of 10. Are you serious? Nico should not show his face at Mavs games. I actually don't think it's safe for him. I really don't. I don't think it's safe for him. So I guess let me give my final, because tomorrow I promise you guys we'll dive into Anthony Davis, we'll dive into Max Christie, we'll dive into how do those guys help the Mavs now. We'll dive into maybe some new Lakers tweet. Do I want to look at this shit? I have the Lakers blocked. I'm sorry, I don't want to look at it. I'm sorry, I really don't. We'll look at Jesus Christ. I mean, we'll talk about the Lakers, what their team looks like now. Run the numbers, $2. Trade machine is officially canon. Stein article. How new is the Stein article? Is it within the last hour? Breaking: the Warriors have contacted the Lakers regarding a trade for LeBron James. Whew. Within the last hour? Half hour. So there's another brand new one, because I just read the one from this morning. Lakers tweet. Kelly Olynyk guy. I'm not doing it. Lakers tweet his video from Luka. I don't fucking care. I don't want to look at it. I texted Mark Cuban and I said, I'm so confused. He wrote back, that makes two of us. Oh, make no mistake about it. Every single person that I talk to inside the organization has said the same exact thing. And I know you guys might think I'm bullshitting. I'm not, I promise you. It's a 3-second Luka vid. Okay, I'm not, guys, please, God. Please, God. I can't look at a billion different things at one time. Sven with the $5.99. Why did he add a second round pick? Who holds him accountable if we go out in the play-ins? I don't understand the second round pick inclusion. Like, Jalen, the Jazz get 2 picks for taking on Jalen Hood-Schifino. Did the Mavs have to do that? Like, really? Jake with the $9.99. Does Nico have full carte blanche with Dumont? No other checks or balances for big decisions? It appears that's the case. It appears that is the case. All right, let me make my way over to Twitter, and I'll look at the Lakers, who I have blocked. Who I have blocked. Here we go. Blocked. Let's view posts. Oh, man. He looks devastated. He does. New hit piece drops saying Mavs are over Luka. You were spot on. I mean, that wasn't a bold take. All right. New words from Jake Fisher. We'll look at that. I saw the post from last night. Don't worry. He looks like he's been crying. The worst thing that I heard was that his assistant had to tell him multiple times that it happened because he didn't believe it. That was like, oof. Jake Fisher, is it the Warriors' turn to strike gold before Thursday's trade deadline? Let's see what Jake Fisher has to say about all of this. The Dallas Mavericks trading Luka Doncic to Los Angeles Lakers under Cloak and Dagger. Jake Fisher, a Marvel Rivals guy? Cloak and Dagger is my new character on Marvel Rivals after I have lorded Mantis. And anyone not named LeBron James and Bradley Beal suddenly feels more vulnerable than ever to be dealt. James and Beal are the only players in the league that hold full no trade clauses. You've surely learned this much. That's just, Bradley Beal just sticks out like a sore fucking thumb in this. LeBron James and Bradley Beal. As of this writing, James has shown no indication that he is willing to waive his no trade clause during the season, league sources told the Steinline. However, There are certainly teams, the Golden State chief among them, sources said, that have inquired whether that stance could change between now and Thursday's trade deadline. The Warriors, as Mark Stein reported, did not move forward with their own conversations regarding Chicago's Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic this weekend, sources said, as Golden State continued to deliberate over the pursuit of Jimmy Butler and, wait for it, exploring the feasibility of reuniting Kevin Durant with Stephen Curry. Whoa, 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 whoa! Andrew at the 499. AD, Reeves, Christian, Connect, all the picks. Still not enough, but that's the starting point. Nico thanked Rob for fleecing him in the press. Jesus. Yeah, that press conference was a fucking disaster. Like, how what do you mean? What do you mean you're saying you're shouting out the opposing team's GM? Like, what the hell's wrong with you, bro? Like, what is wrong with you? Seriously. What the actual hell is wrong with you? You want to know what's funny is we are an hour plus into the stream. We've talked about the Luka trade, obviously, 3 days later. 3 days later at this point. Michael Scotto bomb. Denver Nuggets Peyton Watson suffered a right knee sprain and will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. That sucks. LaVine came off the board. LaVine came off the board as part of Sunday's 3-team trade that delivered De'Aaron Fox to his preferred destination in San Antonio and routed LaVine to Sacramento in his stead after the former Bull had been linked to the Kings for literally years. So that is that's what I was saying. Is like we've talked about this Luka trade is so insane that like we haven't even gotten to a real like serious ginormous blockbuster in-season trade that includes De'Aaron Fox. Like we haven't even gotten to that yet. This is the worst sports experience of my life. It's up there for sure. It's up there, man. I truthfully think a sporting related event could not hurt me nearly as much as 2011 World Series hurt me for a multitude of different reasons. How much I loved baseball at the time, the fact that I played baseball at the time, the fact that I had followed the team at that point through thick and thin, which was mostly thin. And they lost the World Series in such a heartbreaking manner. Like I thought, and the fact that I was 15 at the time, like all of those factors led to it being like the most upsetting moment sports-wise in my life. And I didn't think I'd feel that way again. Also because of my age at the time. This is getting up there, though. The 2006 finals was up there as well. 2007, yeah. Sources say the most ambitious idea being tossed around among Golden State decision makers is there a feasible pathway for the Warriors to pull off the dreamiest of outcomes and find a way to bring both James and Durant? Wait. What? Bring both James and Durant? Both? Huh? This would require quite the masterstroke. While pulling that off currently stands as very unlikely, both from a salary matching and asset valuation standpoint. This is the sort of big game hunting that has defined these Warriors from their original Durant free agency Thunderbolt in 2016 to the last trade deadline's inquiries about James to the past offseason's aggressive pursuits of both Paul George and Larry Markkinen and at times trying to acquire them both. So, like, we talk about this. Yeah, the Warriors, they're this aggressive, uber aggressive trade team. Uber aggressive. Kevin Durant in 2016. What the fuck have they done since then? Talk about making big trades? That's it. Talk about it. The path to Durant alone does seem plausible. Phoenix entering Monday's business continued to signal that it is not planning to move Durant before the deadline, sources said, but the Suns are believed to be listening at the very least to various teams' pitches for the 35-year-old scoring legend. Durant, meanwhile, is said to be aware of all of this. The Suns, mind you, are expected to maintain a very high asking price before they ever agreed to part ways with him. We're talking serious draft capital and highly rated young talent. Oh, my God. This would be absolutely nuts. Mavs are the big trade team. I think that's safe to say. I mean, is there another team in the league that's as gung-ho as the Mavs? I really don't think there is. In the last 4 years? Is there another team? I mean, you could definitely argue the Suns. This trade deadline might be pretty boring. Yeah, I've said that each of the last 3 years. So, I'm sorry, guys. A couple years ago, I said it was going to be a boring trade deadline, and I manifested Kyrie ending up on the Mavs. Do you have some optimistic content about the new AD look Mavs coming? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. The Mavs have always been an aggressive front office, but it wasn't until like they always aggressively postured. That's what the Mavs did. It hasn't been until like the last 4 or 5 years where the Mavs have been like actually legitimately uber aggressive. Finn with the $5.99. Will Nico check the future TV ratings of the Mavs? No, he doesn't give a fuck. What will be his conclusion? And why helping the poor Lakers with a cheap shop in the West? He doesn't give a shit, man. He wanted Anthony Davis. Like, that's really it. He wanted him badly, man. Would you give up 2 first-round picks for Tyus Jones and Ryan Dunn? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why is Phoenix even listening on Durant? The 25 and 23 Suns simply aren't in a position not to, especially after this Doncic drama. Oh, man. Among the very real domino effects stemming from San Antonio's acquisition of Fox, the Spurs just got a whole lot better and more competitive and became an even stronger challenger to swipe one of the Western Conference coveted play-in tournament spots from teams with playoff aspirations: Phoenix, Golden State, Sacramento, and Dallas. This is the thing that sucks the most about the Mavs. Like, they've been treading water, but you knew Luka was a week away. So it's just, let's get to the All-Star break. We got a good roster. We know that we're going to win games. Now I don't know. I really don't. Their team has changed so dramatically that it's going to take so much time to gel. I don't know. It's going to be hard. Andrew at the 199 traded Luka before Dwight Powell, man. Unbelievable. Luka made backwater Mavs relevant. They will slide to nothing now. All right, Peter. I don't know if you're American or what. I'm going to assume not. The Mavs are not backwater. Okay? They're not the fucking Charlotte Hornets or the New Orleans Pelicans. I have to just say that. Come out and defend Dallas's honor. They are a top 4 market in the United States. They've won a championship in the last 15 years. Okay? It's not some backwater ass franchise. No, nothing from Kyrie. I don't know if Finley knew this was happening. I don't know. Thus, the only mechanisms for the Suns to land Butler, where the 6-time NBA All-Star would be expected to land a lucrative contract extension, would require Phoenix to trade Durant or Devin Booker to make that a reality. Oh my God. Are they really going to try and swap KD for Butler essentially? And then like Kuminga and shit? Butler has indeed sent word that he has no plans on re-signing with the Warriors if they trade for him, as Brian Windhorst reported Sunday evening. But it wasn't completely clear as of Monday morning that his stance would be enough to dissuade Golden State from trading for Butler. There have been reservations voiced within the Warriors organization about Butler's personality fit within the team's culture, and Golden State is as wary as any front office rightfully should be about committing long-term money to Butler, given the events witnessed over the past 6 weeks on South Beach and after his previously messy exits in Minnesota and Chicago. I don't get why any team would pay Jimmy Butler at all. I don't get it. Yet there is simultaneous appeal to the Warriors, sources said, with Butler's contract and how it only contains a $52 million player option after this season. Part of why some inside the Warriors group prefer chasing Butler over LaVine, sources said, stem from concern over LaVine's lengthier contract. The Warriors, remember, very recently turned Jordan Poole's 4-year, $120 million deal into Chris Paul's non-guaranteed contract with an eye keenly focused on financial flexibility. A trade that fucked them. Similar reasoning informs why Memphis, sources said, has continued weighing its own Butler trade pursuits, even though it knows Butler doesn't want to play there. Please just trade him to Memphis so I can be right about something. Please. Ditto for why New Orleans, as first reported on Substack last week, checked in with the Heat about the prospect of swapping Brandon Ingram for Butler. The Mavericks are not pursuing Butler or Durant, according to league sources, although Dallas is definitely not done looking for upgrades on the trade market after acquiring Anthony Davis. If you showed me this right here 48 hours ago, I would have been like, whoa, what? Oh my God. I can't believe it. How the fuck did they make that happen? It wouldn't have even crossed my mind. This has led many league observers to suggest that a Butler deal at this juncture is as likely to involve the Warriors or the Milwaukee Bucks as the Suns finally getting him. Yet there's been little fresh chatter on Milwaukee's pursuit of Butler in recent days. Sources with knowledge of the situation have relayed that the Bucks have more recently had conversations about pursuing Washington's Kyle Kuzma. Oh my God. Yuck. All right, let me give some parting thoughts actually real quickly here. Shams reported Kyrie did not know. No, I mean, it's been reported Kyrie did not know. Nobody knew. Let me give my parting emotional thoughts. And then from here on out, I mean, it won't be my parting thoughts. I'll always have thoughts on this trade, and there will always be stuff that comes out that's worth our time talking about. So I don't want to say that, but let me give my parting initial thoughts, and then we can talk, I guess. My parting thoughts, basically. It's a horrible trade. That's not defensible. Is there a way out of this? Is there a way to make everybody feel better? How does this... How do the Mavericks end up winning this trade? I guess that's the question that I want to answer. There might not be an answer. How do the Mavericks win this trade? There's only two ways, in my opinion. For me, personally. For some people, there is no answer. They've lost. Luka is their favorite player. Luka's been in the league for 7 years. So you could have been 12 years old when the Mavs drafted Luka. And you're that's around the age when you're really getting into sports and you're forming what should be lifelong connections with these athletes. I mean, I will have a lifelong connection with Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk will pop up on my screen right now and I'll be like, oh, it's Dirk. Like it fills my heart with so much joy. Right? Like that's when you form lifelong connections and bonds. And you're 19 years old now. You could be 5 years old when Luka was drafted. And you're 12 currently. Like there's people who have had the player that they've grown up watching, the player that they've been with throughout their formative years that has been ripped away from them. There's people who maybe didn't really care about the NBA all that much or didn't really care about basketball. And then Luka became a member of the Mavs and you just see all these plays and you see how good he is and he's talking shit and how unique he is and how good he is. And then you tune in and you watch, and now you become a basketball fan because of him. Those fans will go away forever. And obviously you have the Luka fans that have been following him his whole career. Those guys will obviously move on to the Lakers, presumably. So for some people, there is no answer. There is no winning this trade. It has a personal connection that can't be fixed. There's a Luka-sized hole in their heart that cannot be replaced. Don't make any jokes, guys, when I say Luka-sized hole. For me, as a Mavs fan, who's been a Mavs fan my entire life, who was here through the dark days, who was here through Dirk's career and seeing Dirk's career play out and the low times during Dirk's career, all of the negative stuff said about Dirk, then the 2011 run, and then the post-championship run, the twilight years of Dirk's career, and the highs and lows that came with that, which was mainly lows because the team wasn't competitive, to Luka's drafting and Dennis Smith Jr.'s drafting and watching Luka and watching him grow into the player that he grew into. What would be a win for me? I'm just going to be honest with you. There's two ways. One, if the Mavs win a championship in the next 2 or 3 years, I do consider that a win for me. It's so incredibly hard to win a championship. And that's the end goal for every franchise. And for me, that's I want my team to win a championship. So if they do it, I can say, okay. I mean, and AD obviously has a big role in it. I'm like, okay. Yeah, obviously it wouldn't have met the same as a Luka championship, but it's still a championship. The other way that it's considered a win, and this feels nasty saying, and I don't even think this is going to happen, but if, the lingering lower body injuries for Luka remain an issue throughout his career, and it's just we never see Luka reach those super high highs that we thought. And he's already reached incredible high highs. But I'm saying multiple MVPs, multiple trips to the finals. Like if that never plays out, and it's just, Luka's an incredible player, Hall of Famer, first ballot, one of the greatest players to ever lace him up. But man, it's just like he just always had these lower body injuries that always limited him in some way or another. That's really it. Those are the only two ways this is a win. Going to the conference championship, even going to the finals, is not enough for me in my current state. Because we just went to the finals with Luka, and that was awesome. Like, we went to the finals with Luka, and I loved it. We drafted Luka. He was homegrown. We watched him grow up. That was incredible, an incredible moment. I felt so happy. Happy for the team, happy for Luka, happy as a fan. It's not talked about enough how little thank yous Luka's gotten on his way out. That's also telling. So I will say something very controversial. Nico deserves a sliver of benefit of the doubt. I will happily poo-poo him if we're obviously worse, but I'm intrigued to see it. Just the way that I think this trade is, I don't think I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt. It just feels very ego-driven. And I just think there were way better ways to handle this. Way better ways. So that's where I'm at. It's so hard to win a championship in the league. If the Mavs end up winning a championship in the next 2 or 3 years, which, by the way, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think they do. This team, right now, I look at it, and I do see a good team. I do see a good team. They're not good enough. What made them good enough was having the guy in the playoffs that you knew was going to score 35 points a night. You don't have that anymore. You don't have the ultimate guy in the playoffs who give me the fucking ball and get out of the way. You don't believe in Kyrie then? I believe in Kyrie as a number 2 guy. I don't believe in Kyrie as a guy who you put the ball in his hands in the playoffs and get the fuck out the way. I don't. I love him. I really do. I absolutely love him. I absolutely love him. Mavs game plan was Luka, how his kid going to run his offense? They're going to try to win games 90 to 88, guys. It's going to be fucking nasty. It's going to be nasty. Did you know McMahon said today that a GM told him Kyrie is better than Luka right now? That might have been Nico Harrison. That might have been Nico Harrison. So that's my thoughts. I think it's a shit trade. If you decide, hey, I don't feel comfortable paying Luka $350 million because of X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to agree with you at all. But you have more information than I do. Obviously, you see the behind the scenes stuff. So, okay, you say, you know what? We don't feel comfortable doing it. Exactly. You do it in the offseason. It's a month-long process. You get every team in the fucking league's best offer, and then you go from there. How do we build this to where, hey, maybe we can still compete now, but also we now have a treasure trove of assets that we can use to maneuver and move around and get young players or trade for more guys. Trading him out of the blue, completely unexpected, without a formal trade offer, without a formal trade demand, without any real inclinations that Luka might not want to be here. All the reporting pretty much says that Luka was going to sign his Supermax and that was going to be that. It's just so bizarre to me. There's no defending it. No defending it. NBA Central. Okay. What does NBA Central have to say? No, not NBA Centel. NBA Centel. Luka Doncic apparently bought a $15 million house in Dallas last week and reportedly cried when he found out the Mavericks traded him. Jesus Christ. Incredibly sad. Escherwar with the $5. I'm disliking Tim McMahon like shooting the messenger. Is disliking Tim McMahon like shooting the messenger, or is dislike justified on its own merits? I think I don't really have an opinion on him. I think he's doing his job. But I can completely understand being annoyed at him. I'm more annoyed at ESPN because this is what they want. They want a shit stir like him. What trade would have to happen before the deadline for you to feel a little bit better? I mean, nothing. But if they found a way to get a guard in here that you can give the ball to and feel comfortable about, who maybe plays some defense, guess what? Those guys don't grow on trees. So I can't imagine who that is. Like, Colin Sexton isn't even that guy. Like, I don't... Brandon Ingram could be interesting with this group now. I'm going to be honest. Kobe White could be interesting. Brandon Ingram is now a name that's kind of interesting. Anthony Simons just doesn't fit. The Lakers have announced that a Luka Doncic introductory press conference will be held Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm just, Tyler with the $4.99. Luka's house gets robbed, invested in a new house, and Nico screws him over. Nico is a snake. Sorry, I envision the Mavs will be the Jazz in 3 years with no picks. It's very possible, man. It's very possible. So, yeah, that's just this felt like an ego-driven move by Nico Harrison. He wanted his guy. He's loved Anthony Davis. He pulled the trigger. The Lakers, I'm assuming they've had talks in the past, and the Lakers have just said, yeah, it's not happening. Like, unless there's Luka, kind of joke about it. Oh, yeah. And then it got to a point where Nico was finally like, you know what? I think I would do that now. I think I would do that. And it led to this. Basketball-wise, it doesn't make any sense. Feels very disconnected from the human side of the sport. Fire him. No, here's the thing. I don't want Nico to get fired. That would be the worst thing imaginable. Nico getting fired would be the worst thing imaginable. You don't fire a guy who just traded the 25-year-old megastar. That doesn't make any fucking sense. He has to bask in the shit. He has to ride this shit out. How does it make no sense basketball-wise? It's just plain wrong. It makes tons of sense basketball-wise. You traded a 25-year-old top 3 player. That will never make sense basketball-wise. Who didn't want out? It'll never make sense. This could have happened to any team in the league. But Luka, so let's say Luka was ever on the Mavs, and I'm a Mavs fan, and Luka's on another team, and then this trade happens. I would say the same fucking thing. Sham said the Warriors called on Paul George, too. What? I'm just I'm just I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out, man.